What's up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys our very late night discussion tonight, guys. Sorry, we were just a little bit delayed. Not feeling so hot over here, but we are powering through it, guys, and bringing you guys our late night discussion. We might have to cut it a little bit short, but for now, we're doing good, feeling good. So, thanks for joining us here, New York Giants for Life. Olsen, what's up?
Checking the sound.
Yep, just checking to make sure everything's good to go. And, you know, we'll hop right into it. Sorry, we were just... All right, yeah. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
What's
so,
up,
Wolf Rider, thanks for joining us. And, guys, you know, we'll kind of hop right into it. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost...
I don't know. Where do you want to start, baby?
Well, I want to let you guys all know out there. What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
Cowboys
Eagle
abroad.
fan, Cowboys Abroad. Chase, thanks for joining us here, guys.
So, guys, sorry for being late. I got a little sick, but I'm okay now. And that's why for the late stream, we apologize for that. Actually, I need my microphone. So I don't know if you guys heard me. Hopefully you did. What's up, DJ Crown J,
DJ
Chase,
Crown J, how you
Cowboys
doing?
Abroad, Eagles fan. Stay for this, Eagles fan, because we're about to unveil something for you guys. So you see this right here, this very ugly thing. You guys see what that is, right? It's the dirty Eagles. And you know what we think about that, right?
Yeah,
What?
they suck.
Yeah, that's what we think about that. And that's going to be broken. If we can break our losing streak, that will be broken on Sunday night.
I agree.
I'm going to personally break that
We'll invite
live.
you to our Eagle Smash party.
Yeah, something else, like you were saying about the Eagles sucking. As you can see, this is not really the jersey. I don't have it on, but there's a shirt underneath it, which you guys seen before if you watched the Philadelphia preview.
Our Eagles preview
Yes.
video this year.
So I love my Cowboys, but right now, this week, this is what you're going to see every night, right here.
The Eagles sucking.
Eagles suck. I know they don't suck, but still. Go Cowboys, guys. This
so
is hate
ugly.
week now.
Oh, guys, we're going to have a little bit of fun with it this week because honestly, it's all you can do. And, you know, especially in the NFC, it's always anyone's game, guys. So I'm looking forward to this week, and especially with, you know, again, Sean Lee out for, you know, definitely this game.
Yeah.
Looking like 2 more games, maybe 3 more on top of that. But I am excited that Tyron Smith might be back, but here's my dilemma. He either comes back for this Eagles game and probably won't play in the Chargers game because he's going to be pretty banged up, or they're going to rest him, you know, even longer, you know, and then not play against the Eagles, and then we'll play against the Chargers. So, you know, each has its pros and cons, but I always favor the division games over anything.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, we're going to definitely
know.
delve into this. And, I mean, you know, depending on how many people we have is how long we'll run for. But we're trying to stay under an hour tonight, guys. Let me start off with some news, basically. Jerry Jones, basically, there was no practice today, first and foremost, guys.
Yeah.
But Tyron Smith was at the facility working out. You also had Jeff Swaim, who was also hurt and out of this last game with his knee injury. He was working out. So good signs, at least for both of those, you know, heading into Wednesday practice. Now, Wednesday practice, we know Tyron Smith never practices on Wednesday. It's part of his routine for his back. But now with the groin, obviously, and, you know, the fact that he might not play this weekend, you know, we know he's definitely not playing Wednesday. Thursday, we'll hope he gets out there in some kind of limited way. And by Friday, to have a chance, he'd have to be out there in some kind of limited way to have a chance to play.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't go out there, guys, we're going to talk about Chaz Green and Byron Bell, because the Cowboys don't have any other options, basically, from that point on that spot of things. And when it comes to Sean Lee, and you were talking about it, you know, gone for 3 games, guys. You can almost bet on it. So especially the fact that they're close. And when I say 3 games, I mean the Falcon game that just passed, the Eagles and the Chargers, and of course probably maybe the Redskins as well. That's possible as well with Sean Lee, which has multiple injuries that he was playing in this last game with a couple injuries, which was a bilateral quad bruise, basically. You know, just the hamstring acted up again. On someone pushed him from behind, and he couldn't stop, and he pulled it. So, you know, that's going to be something that has to be tended to, and they're saying about at least this week and maybe up to 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll keep you guys posted as we know more, but hopefully it's on the shorter end of that. But honestly, guys, even if it is, there's a good chance that he might re-injure it again later on in the season. So Cowboys abroad. So now we've lost 4 Pro Bowlers. What now?
Yeah.
We'll keep talking about that in just a minute. But you guys are gonna lose 33-17. Wilson, are you sure that's gonna be your official prediction? Let me see. Cowboys 42. Thanks for joining us.
What's up?
Peanut 310. Thanks for joining us. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Yeah, guys, we're still Cowboy fans for life.
Hey, and
we'll be here. Win, lose, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Do not forget. This, guys, hit that.
Yes, guys, hit like on the stream. It really does help out the channel, and I think all of you guys are already subscribed. So, thanks for that. But if you aren't, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you guys know when we go live.
So, guys, here it is. So, Jerry Jones said Tyron Smith with his groin has a better chance of playing Sunday than Sean Lee with his hamstring, but could not definitively say that Smith would see action against Philly. That's the official word. So, it's looking better for Tyron Smith. That doesn't mean he's going to play. And we have a major, I believe he is slightly more important. I know as people are talking about it, is it Sean Lee? Is it?
Yeah, like which one's more critical?
Yeah, they're both extremely critical. So is Dan Bailey. But
offense is the heart of our team. As much as our defense needs Sean Lee, and Sean Lee really is like the key holding them all together. If Tyron Smith is not out there protecting Dak, our offense goes nowhere, and that's without Zeke as well, which is Cowboys abroad. You mentioned it, and on top of that, Dan Bailey. Yeah. It just all these things all together, guys. So
yeah, I mean, Eagle fan, you're not nervous. I know you're gonna bet. I'm not gonna bet you because I still say Eagles suck no matter what happens in this game. And again, remember, to be non-biased and to be not, going to say Cowboys going to win. I do believe the Cowboys going to have major trouble in this game. And it just, but I'll tell you, if we have a chance to win, we have a better chance with Tyron Smith in there than Sean Lee, and no downing for Sean Lee. I want to go back to 2014 when the Cowboys went 12-4. They didn't have him for the whole season, so the Cowboys went 12-4 without Sean Lee. I do think that they had Anthony Hitchens, I think, that year or so, and I think they had number 55 Orlando. I forgot his name, but he's McLean. Yes, thank you, baby. It's nice save.
It took me a second. I'm like, it's on my tongue.
Ronald McLean was there, 55, and so anyways, that year they didn't have Sean Lee. We went 12-4, but ever since then, the last 3 years, it's been 0-5 whenever Sean Lee has not been in the game. Obviously, a major factor for our defense, and just overall, guys, as far as the percentages are concerned, we have about a 27% chance to make the playoffs based on makingplayoffs.com. But
Peanut here said, "Never fear, guys. Kellen Moore's still around." Ha ha ha.
Practice squad.
So guys, save the season. SOS.
No, Cooper Rush, please. I'd rather have him. But it's not about the quarterback. It's not about Dak, guys.
Dak has played
very
well. So.
Fantastic. He's the least person you blame on this team.
And hello Newman, thanks for joining us. Manuel Corona. Let me see. I want to hit some of your comments here. I guessed it was going to be a close against the Falcons. You never know against the Eagles. Let me see. Bleed Green. Wow, love the shirt. Ha ha ha. Can't wait for Sunday. Fly Eagles fly. And again,
you're gonna see us every day.
All week. We're gonna be, we're gonna be here all week. So season's a wrap. Hello Newman. Never say never. Never give up. Never give up. It's not over till it's over. Yeah. So we got to take it one day, one game at a time.
Listen, we're gonna be honest. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
All right. And if we don't have Tyron Smith and we don't have Sean Lee, there's really no chance to win this game against the Eagles and against the Chargers and against the Redskins and against the Giants and against Oakland and against Seattle and against Philly.
Yes.
And just give me a little rundown. We're gonna lose them all.
Yeah.
If we don't have these two guys.
Yeah. And Jonathan Cook, thanks for joining us. Let the March guy play. Limit Jalen Smith snaps. He sucks in coverage. So we are actually just talking about this, and you.
So we're gonna talk about this. Yeah.
That to me, how the Cowboys, the way that they need to adjust isn't so much of a player situation, because again, we have the personnel that could do it if the coaching staff makes the right changes. So that's the thing. Can the coaching staff make the right changes to help our offense be more effective the way that it is right now, and help our defense as well with the guys that we have?
So let's discuss that. So that's a good question. So again, here's the thing. This is what I believe. I don't have any insight as far as being in with the Cowboy people or executives or personnel or players or anything, coaches, nothing. But here's what I think. Based on my knowledge of football, my knowledge of what I see on the football field with our Dallas Cowboys. Right now, you have to understand what's happening. So we have 3 positions, guys, and I want to make sure you guys understand. Sometimes it's confusing. I think you just learned this year.
Yeah.
Just talking about it, you do learn it. So you have the middle linebacker. The Cowboys run a 4-3, so we have 4 defensive front guys. So 2 defensive tackles, which is Malik Collins and David Irving. Trying to get you guys a picture. And you have the ends, which would be DeMarcus Lawrence, and Tyron Crawford. So that's our front four. They're going after the quarterback. They're trying to stop the run, contain the quarterback, break the pocket. Then you have 3 linebackers. That's why it's a 4-3. You got 4 of those are the 4 I just mentioned, and you have 3 linebackers. Our linebackers at all times, pretty much we have, except for in dime packages, which means we have a lot of defensive backs. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the linebackers are going to always be Sean Lee and Anthony Hitchens. Those 2 are always playing. Always. And then you have, on a run situation, when you have the 4-3, solid run defense kind of style, you have Damian Wilson in there. And so the 3 different positions are middle linebacker, which is Hitchens. You have the weak side, which helps Lee's injury-prone situation in his career. As you can see, still getting injured. But on that side, playing the weak side, there's less chance of him getting a serious injury that keeps him out the entire year. Yeah. So that's called the will, because of the weak side linebacker. The middle linebacker is called the Mike, M. You understand the connection there. So, and then you have the strong side, which is the Sam. So that's how you determine. That's what it's called. When you hear people talking like that, that's what it means. Just for those that didn't know. And then we have 2 corners and we have 2 safeties. Yeah. On a basic package 4-3, which is what the Cowboys run. So going back, and again, that would be Skandrick and Anthony Brown and multiple players, that play there. And then you have Byron Jones and Heath as the safeties.
Yeah, so I want to catch up with some of your comments here just because Cowboys abroad.
I'll pause there because I do want to say more about the linebackers and what I think we're going to do and what's going to happen. For sure, some stuff is going to happen and what I think we should do. But go ahead.
No, Cowboys abroad said, did you ever think losing Zeke would be the least of our problems? Never in a million years, guys, especially considering the way that the first basically half of the season went, the way that we, covered Zeke's case and all the ups and downs around it. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Let me see.
That's a great comment.
Giants are going 115 anyway, so you'll win. Is Chaz Green fired yet? Not yet.
Yeah. Remember, he plays guard a lot, guys.
So Shallow Hal, thanks for joining us. Let me see. I have a feeling we're going to be stubborn, keep playing the same scheme, same plays. Might switch up left tackle. It's obviously we're depleted in all major areas. Manuel, that's my biggest fear, and like I said, we're going to talk about coaching adjustment.
I was just setting you guys up with that defense, and we'll go jump to offense, which is a scarier thing, in my opinion, only because of Tyron Smith.
Yeah, and Kevin Bowers, thank you. He said thank you both for keeping all your updates
much
and all
love.
you do
Thank
to keep
you.
the Cowboys Nation informed.
Yeah, just help us out, guys, by hitting that like, subscribing if you're new, hitting the notification bell, and if you ever want to donate, guys, there's a Patreon account. Soon, hopefully, we'll have a super chat, and there's a way of helping us out by getting better lighting, better equipment. And we're really trying to do some like road trip stuff, guys. We actually were contemplating maybe trying to make it to this weekend's game. Probably not going to happen, but we're still checking into it. So you never know. You never know. We'll join that big tailgate.
Yeah, so in Bleed Green, we're not going to lie. We are thinking about the Eagles. We're about to play you guys.
That's all that's on our minds right now.
Our divisional rival. And we do it, we think the same way with the Giants, and we do the same with the Redskins. But something about the Eagles just sucks a little bit more than some of these other teams for some reason. And again, maybe it's just because I'm from Pennsylvania and I had to grow up in Eagles country. But man, something about the Eagles, before I knew anything about football, I knew one thing: I hated the Eagles.
Let's go back to the Eagle history here, guys.
There you go, guys.
You want to know about Eagle history? I'm going to tell you about the Eagles and Cowboy history here. Okay, so let's start off with the Cowboys winning Super Bowls. They were doing great, in the 70s, and the Eagles were garbage.
Cowboys abroad. Your comment after that performance: Chaz Green couldn't start my lawnmower.
That's a good one. But listen, guys. So in the 70s, the Cowboys were America's team. That's when it was coined. Winning Super Bowls. Roger Staubach, and then the Eagles finally made the Super Bowl against the Raiders. They lost in like 1980. And then as the 80s progressed, you saw Buddy Ryan go from the defensive coordinator from the Super Bowl championship Bears and that great defense they had in 85 to become the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles the next year. And at that point, guys, against Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys, that's when it all hit the fan. So let me give you a little rundown. And again, there's videos out there that really have a good montage of this. I would post it, and I would unmonetize it without a problem, so you guys could really understand where the hatred comes from, like where it really, really comes from. It's bad. So the Cowboys had their it was a year where they had a strike, and a lot of the Cowboy players of the starters actually played. They actually were they crossed the picket line and they played for the Cowboys. And a lot of teams didn't like this. The Cowboys won a lot of those games, and one of the games was against the Eagles, where Buddy Ryan, the coach of the Eagles, felt like they were running up the score on purpose, which I don't think they were, but that's the way they took it. So the next time they played them later in the year, they had Randall Cunningham, and those guys who know the Eagle history, and obviously the Eagle fans do know this. they had basically beaten the Cowboys. There was about 3 seconds left on the clock. The Eagles had the ball at like midfield, and it was like they were winning by 10 points or something like that, or 8 points or 9. I don't know. They were winning by more than a touch. They had the ball. The game was over. It was 2 seconds. They sat on the ball twice, and they were running the clock out. As the time's running out, and they had to snap the ball. The play was called in by Buddy Ryan for Randall Cunningham to throw a deep bomb, and they did it, and they scored a touchdown. And that was the beginning to me of the hatred. From then on, guys, I mean, the Cowboys were 3-13 after that, and they were 1-15 after that. And then, of course, that 1-15 year we had Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones, Aikman, Irving, and then the next year we got Emmett, and then we were on the map. But before we had all that, we still had the Bounty Bowl. If you guys remember that, that's when they actually had Buddy Ryan had told his players. This is towards when we had Aikman already. Before we had Emmett, I think, or right around that time when we were 1-15, to basically, if you hurt the kicker or the Cowboys, I think it was Zendejas, or if you hurt Troy Aikman, the quarterback for the Cowboys, you get a $500, $1,000 bonus. And after that occurred, you know what I'm saying, and you can see in the game various times that they actually go after the Cowboy players on purpose. The kickers are standing there and they just blindside them.
Hey, maybe that's what the Falcons did this weekend. Just kidding, guys.
But I will say, I'll try, guys. I'll try to wrap this up. I'm going into my little story mode here. But it is important to get the real gauge of the hatred that I have for the Eagles
it goes
and their
back
fans.
A long time. So.
And again, I'm not saying you guys on here necessarily because you're part of the family, so I give you a pass. But for the most part, the fans are also disgusting too. And I'm not saying every single one of them, but in general. Yeah. Because I'm going to go on past the Bounty Bowl. When the Cowboys started really winning, the Eagle fans were getting mad. And they started putting in their snowballs, they put batteries and started throwing them at the Cowboy players and coaches. I mean, that's pretty Bush League so far. We know they had a problem with Santa in the 70s when they put Santa in jail and beat him up or something. So that was some weird thing. So some drunk Santa in Philadelphia Stadium, in Veterans Stadium. But the point is that this is the mindset of the Eagles and the Eagle fans. The ones that are in the stadium drunk and rowdy and out of control, and just there's some hatred, guys. Also, if you continue going on, I mean, Emmitt Smith had like his best game against the Eagles in history in Philadelphia, like 237 yards, like at the time, second best rushing performance in history, I think, by any running back. And it was in the rain, it was awesome. So that's a memorable game there. But as it progressed and as the Cowboys started to, after the Super Bowl years, 3 out of 4, Eagles still had. So after all that, then you have the Eagles, having pretty good teams here and there, and us on a decline. And then when Michael Irvin got hurt in Veterans Stadium, he hurt his neck. He was kind of paralyzed on the field, and the Eagle fans were cheering this. And that's pretty Bush League, guys. When they had him on a stretcher getting off the field, they were booing it. That he gave the thumbs up. So I'm just saying, guys. I don't mean to paint every single Eagle fan like this, but man, that is just. I hate the Eagles, and those are the reasons why I hate the Eagles.
So, no, Jonathan Cook said Awuzie will help out a lot with Lee, though. I think he's going to help out more with Byron Jones and our cornerback and our safety spot, obviously. Because, again, with Awuzie in there, we can put him and Woods at safety, and then Byron Jones can play, like you said, the slot cornerback or move him. Like sometimes he's done what Skandrick did. And, again,
blitz.
Yeah, there we go. So, like, sometimes we put it, and again, I only saw him do it, like, once or twice, but it just gives you the option to use Byron Jones a little differently in a way that seems to have been more effective for the Cowboys overall for him.
When you look at this week, now it's about which position is more important. Is it Tyron Smith or is it Sean Lee? And it really comes down to personnel. Who do you have ready to go? Now, what we saw from the Cowboys' left tackle situation, it's not pleasant, and the Cowboys are not going to make any changes. They're not going to move Zach Martin there. They're not going to move Lyle Collins to that side. They're not going to, they're not going to do anything like that. So we're not going to move Jonathan Cooper. They said they thought about it, but they're not going to do it.
It goes into what Hello Newman said here. I still can't believe our incompetent coaching. No screen pass or draw plays on our left side. No chipping that end either.
Exactly.
So basic football 101.
Again, as we said yesterday, it was 10 complete times that they helped on the left guard, on the left tackle, and 8 of them were for 3 quarters with Chaz Green, and then they had two times they helped Byron Bell, who allowed a sack, the 2 quarterback pressures. He had like 2 holding calls. I mean, it was just a disaster for him in the fourth quarter. So again, I don't want to put too much blame on him because he didn't have as much time to gel with the first team. So you can't really put it on him. He did the best he could. Nobody helped Chaz Green. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the coaches allow that. They didn't expect that to happen, obviously. They didn't expect Chaz Green to have such a bad game.
That.
But man, he just went downhill fast. And again, and I think it's that if that goes down, our defense goes down. I don't care if you have Sean Lee or not. Our defense is hurt. If we don't have Tyron Smith, our defense is also hurting.
Yeah, again, the offense, like I said, the offense is the heart of our team. You know, it's what drives.
As you control the game.
You know, exactly. It's how we control the game, control the clock, and really help out our defense. Yeah. Again, it's like two sides of the same coin, guys. So yeah, I think at the end, Tyron Smith is a bigger part and the bigger critical key. Yeah. I'm worried because, again, the Cowboys is, you know, we have, you know, Chaz Green. I guess it seems like the Cowboys really, like you said, they're not going to do anything different. So expect Chaz Green to start. But how confident do you think Dak is going to be, or how?
Well, Dak has to. That's the most important thing for a quarterback. That's a good question you're saying. Is that, you know, watching his blind side. I mean, that's the left tackle, and that is why it's so important to have Tyron Smith. His value is unmeasurable. So when you lose this guy who is a Pro Bowler, who rarely allows anything to get by him, and again, occasionally he'll hold. Like this season, his back is catching up with him a little bit, but he won't let a guy blindside Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got blindsided at least 2 times, but multiple times he was constantly looking behind him because he knew that the pressure was coming.
Exactly, and you saw him. But Chase, he said, I want to see a trade or free agent draft. Next man up is a weak saying. I don't think it's a weak saying. I think it's a cheap saying.
So I think easy way out.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys just, you know,
he has to prepare the players
badly. I think they planned badly, and they didn't somehow ever stop to think that this could ever happen. It just like, and not just that, but like at any position, it just seems like the next man up is just, you know, in no way, shape, or form is able to.
But before you go next man up, you have to say, okay, let's adjust. Let's get another tight end over there. Let's get a running back over there,
or at least look at all their options. That's it. It just even
10 times
completely dismiss looking at the free agency or
how many snaps are out in a game, guys? Is 60, 70, 80 snaps a game on offense? I don't know. I'm not really sure, between 50 and 80. I don't know. Yeah. But my point is that 10 times they helped. I mean, 10 times they helped the left tackle, who was obviously suffering the entire game. That's a coaching issue. So, and we talked about that yesterday till my face turned purple. So I'm not going to go over that again, but that is an issue. And we want to talk about positivity. We want to try to see how can we win, right? What can we do to win? So here's what I'm thinking, guys. First and foremost, Sean Lee probably out. Okay, so he's out. Tyron Smith. Let's talk about him.
We'll do both things. Right. If he plays, and obviously if he doesn't.
If he plays, I'm going to go with him playing right now, because I do think that
we need him more for the Eagles.
Something about Tyron Smith, he's saying to himself, he can't allow that to happen again to his quarterback. I don't know. I think that as a player, you have pride and say, you know, what you saw out there is embarrassing to your team. And you know, again, Chaz Green might be able to be better in the future, but I'm not counting on that right now. I'm counting on saving Dak's, you know, career and season, and not killing him back there. At this point. Yeah. So we need to make sure. I think Tyron Smith knows this. I think if he can get out there, he's going to be out there this weekend, even if he's questionable or limited on that final day of practice. I think he's going to make it. I think he'll be out there. But
and again, it might be something where he might not play the entire game. They might.
Correct.
No, I'm just
That's
saying
true
they might use him, you know, again, as much as they can, but they might rotate in occasionally Chaz Green or Byron Bell. And again, when they do that, they might put extra help on that side.
They're definitely going to
something. But again, that means that the Cowboys need to adjust, and I am not confident that they can do that right now.
Jason Garrett's never shown that in his coaching career.
Yeah. So, and knowledge. I'm glad, you know, enjoy your Eagle team this year, you know.
Congrats so far.
Yeah, exactly.
No midseason trophies, though.
Let me see. Sosa Bleed Green, thanks for joining us. You know, spare tire concept.
And yes, we are thinking about the Eagles because that's the team we're playing this week. You know, we are focused on them, and what we're talking about here.
Wow, Kevin Bowers. That's, again, on the radio this morning, they replayed the question asked to Garrett after the game. He said he didn't even give it a thought to take Dak out of the game.
I heard that too. Yeah, I know. And again, that's just like
I feel like they literally are taking the entire Cowboys' future and looking at it and throwing it out the window.
Or at least rolling the dice, for sure. I mean,
just no.
They don't want it. They don't want
the window in the sense that they're showing at least they don't care enough about their future. Yeah. And I get it that they're trying to say that they don't want to appear weak or not confident in their team.
What's up, Zero
But
God?
At what point are you going to accept the facts and either do something to help or save your future? That's
So let's talk about beating the Eagles. All right. So Tyron Smith plays.
Zero God, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Let's say Tyron Smith plays, and I do believe he's going to push himself to play, and I think he'll be close enough to 100% where he's going to be effective. But let's just keep that in the back of the. And I think the offense with the running backs and our offensive line will be able to move the ball somewhat on the Eagles. It's going to be hard. Eagles have a good defense, but I think we'll be able to get the ball rolling, so to speak. And also, more time in the passing game for Dak means more time for the receivers to get out the routes, meaning more completions. So, again, it's not going to be easy, but it's manageable on offense. And once we have that little foot in the door, we have a shot to win the game. Now, flip it around on defense. And before we go into the defense, I want to tell you how the Cowboys are going to win this game.
Yeah.
Hit that like button.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Yeah, and Joshua, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Even though you're bleeding green now. And Virgil Johnson, thanks for joining us too.
Yes, Virgil. Good questions there on the other streams, guys. And comment whenever you need to. You know, I try to respond to almost everybody if I can. If I have time, sometimes I might be late. You know, we do our best to try to respond, guys. That's what mobile devices do. They expand everything, right? You can do everything anytime.
And Jonathan Cook says, but guys, what about the wide receivers? They need to step up their game.
Well, you know, a lot of that, yes. When it comes to catching the ball, I agree. When it comes to maybe Dez running some of his routes, yes. When it comes to finding the open spot, I mean, Rod Smith, as a running back, did a great job finding the open spot in a big third down, along with Dak seeing him. You know, Dak really helped us score and move the ball at all. It was all Dak.
But I think overall, I don't think our receivers are doing that bad. Again, overall, even picture-wise.
I mean, Switzer is a disappointment so far, but I think it's more of the way the coaches are using him on offense, and also the fact that he had
a pretty good game this past one.
A lot of people are saying they think they should bench him. I think he had his best game.
Yeah.
And I think the numbers show that for this week.
I think he played the smartest game as well. We saw him finally, I guess, use his little football brain.
Yeah, but I mean that's the key, guys, is that he has to stick within what the coaches, and hopefully the coaches tell him the right thing. So if he does that, he should eventually produce, guys. He's a rookie. Taco Charlton, also a rookie. And when you look at Jalen Smith, and that's what I really want to talk about, is how we're going to win this game without Sean Lee. It's going to be hard. Again, Wentz is great. You know, he's going to be one of the Daks and Wentz's battles in the NFC East for 10 years to come. These two guys are going to be fighting it out with their respective teams. And it's going to be fun, guys. That's why
the Eagles.
I can finally wear this again with pride, because the Eagles kind of died out for a bunch of years. So, you know. So anyways, the thing is that I think that with our linebackers, okay, so here's what the Cowboys are going to do. Sean Lee, X'd out, okay, so the weak side, the will position of the linebacking core is open. So we're taking, and we have Anthony Hitchens at the mic, and we have at the strong side to Sam, we have, what's his name, Damian Wilson. Damian Wilson. So then you're going to take Anthony Hitchens. He can play any position basically on that line.
But now he's going to be playing on Will just because, again, Sean Lee
he's playing the weak side position. And again, so he's taking over that because really, and also Sean Lee not being there, we really don't have a backup at that position. So other than Hitchens.
Yeah.
So Hitchens
is the backup. Basically.
He's so good. Again, when he got hurt in that Oakland game in preseason, you have to understand why it was so concerning for me. A lot of people don't, even Cowboy fans don't realize how important Hitchens is to our team. Just as important as Sean Lee. So you have Hitchens now moved over to Sean Lee's spot. You have that middle spot open. You keep Wilson there when you have a 4-3 defense. And then you have that Mike spot open, which is the middle linebacker. We've been using Jalen Smith mainly at that spot. It has not worked out, guys. Yeah. He has the natural talent and the speed, but he doesn't have the football mind yet. And I think it's something that has to be taught, and also it's going to come with experience. But he takes every time he goes in, he takes the wrong hole and the wrong lane. He gets blocked out. He takes himself out of plays. Yeah, he overruns things. A to B, he's great. As far as getting to that point, if it's a blitz, something like that, I think we can use him. Now, you cannot use him for 60 plays. This is where he will break down. You cannot use, and now you go to another linebacker we have on our team. We got out of second retirement, Justin Durant. Now, he's been a Cowboy for years. He's been very good, very consistent. And this year, he hasn't been that great. And you saw how he broke down against the Rams when we had to run him full time because we didn't have either linebacker. And when we had him out there playing, he missed some opportunities against the Packers. So Hitchens, his age is catching up with him. Let's put it that way. So he needs to be in there for a limited amount of time, like Jalen Smith.
That's right.
So who's left? Well, guys, we could move. There's a lot of talk saying that we'll move Damian Wilson to that second linebacker, which would be the middle linebacker spot. So it'd be mainly you'd see Hitchens and Wilson, but Wilson cannot cover. He's a run stopper. He's more like a defensive end almost in a way. If you want to think of it like a faster, lighter, thinner defensive end. So you don't want him covering a slot receiver, a Taylor Gabriel type of guy, a Cole Beasley type of guy. You understand, guys? So you don't want that. You want a faster, quicker one. Now you say Jalen Smith. He's not good in coverage yet. So he's not ready to be out there. And Durant's too old. Well, guys, there's one guy left, which we really haven't seen much of. He's basically been a special teams player. He's pretty good on special teams. We don't know much about him. That's Justin March Lillard.
Yes.
This guy here, okay, I think he's number 53, so keep an eye out for him. I think he's gonna play a major role in this game. And I'm not saying he's great, or I think he'll do better instinctually than Jalen Smith. And guys, remember, March Lillard is 29 games experience in this league in the NFL.
Hey, Philly 500, thanks for joining us. TikTok, Dallas on the clock.
We're ready.
Fly Eagles fly, keep it up. Great work. Thanks for joining us. We saw your stream earlier today. Great work. Keep it up. If you know, any Eagles fans in the chat, if you guys aren't already following Philly 500, you need to be.
Yeah, he's got a good channel.
I mean, it would be good if it was the
Cowboys.
The Eagles,
yeah. If it was the Cowboys, it'd be great. But since the Eagles, we mess him. He does good stuff. He puts in good work. He puts in a good time on that. So much love on that, man. Thank you.
Seriously, I will say one thing. I really am excited about this game in the sense that, obviously
still
this
divisional
year,
battle, guys.
Exactly. It's a divisional battle, but obviously in the division right now, it is kind of down to these two teams because the Eagles and the Redskins already played, and the Eagles won. So in that sense, I know they're gonna play again, but right now the Eagles are the dominant team in that sense in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, we got you guys one more time at the end of the year.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, it's kind of, this is the last NFC East matchup. After this, all the teams will have played each other, I think, right? At least once?
You mean for us or for all the teams?
NFC East, at least.
I think everybody would have played each other.
I'm just saying, at that point, we will already at least see how each NFC East team ranks against each other.
Yeah, how they fare against each other.
And I'm just saying, and I feel like at that point, especially with the Eagles and their winning record, I think it's going to be a little more significant if they're able to beat every single team.
Every team in the division can play each other because they all match up differently against you. So you might see the Giants do better against the Eagles and the Redskins, but yet you'll see maybe the Redskins destroy the Giants. It's just the way they match up. And also injuries and stuff. I mean, the Redskins had their whole offensive line injured when we beat them 2 weeks ago. So when we play them again after the Chargers a week later a week after Thanksgiving on a Thursday night, that's going to be a tough game, guys. It's going to be in Dallas, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot tougher than the first one.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
And no problem, Philly 500. You're inspiring me, guys. I might have to get an Eagles Suck shirt or something. So, and stay tuned on Twitter. I have a very, very funny picture from my old school that did an Eagles Day.
Oh, that's horrible. Stay
posted, guys. It was horrible. So let me see. Sobe knows, thanks for joining us. And let me see. Gary Stokes, we're just kind of catching up on a few things. If you missed our news stream, we'll recap it super fast. Sean Lee is, not playing this week, and he could be out for another 3 weeks on top of that.
Well, 2 weeks on top of that.
2 more weeks on top of that. Tyron Smith is more likely to play this week, but, we'll keep you updated on that. Jeff Heath entered concussion protocol.
That's right.
Jeff Swaim was not back in practice, but he was working out. Tyron Smith was working out as well at the start. Again, a good sign. Chidobe Awuzie is expected to play this week, and he should be in practice tomorrow.
And guys, Rico Gathers, supposedly he's going to be doing some more stuff in meetings, and he made an appearance today at the Star. We'll see what happens with him. This is really a do-or-die week for him, and I'm not really too concerned about it right now because we have other concerns that are much more immediate. But Rico Gathers, if he don't get on the 53 anytime soon, he's going to have to stay on IR for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if that's into December when that starts, when the deadline hits for him. And also, guys, Dan Bailey. I don't know if you discussed him.
Dan Bailey. I did not, but it's a good sign.
He's out there kicking the ball, guys. Just as on his own. There's no practice yet, but he's been kicking the ball. He's not kickoffs, kicking field goals. Yeah. And the thing with kickers is the first thing that comes back is kicking
ability.
Right, the kicking ability for field goals and extra points. When you get to the kickoffs is where you can re-aggravate that groin injury he has. So what the Cowboys are probably going to do is and I'm not saying he's going to be back this week or even against the Chargers, but what I'm trying to say is that maybe against the Redskins, for example, they might have Bailey in there doing just field goals and extra points.
And have Mike Nugent doing only kickoffs.
Correct. Just kickoffs, whether it's at the start of the game or at the half or anytime after the Cowboys hopefully score multiple times.
Fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah, so hopefully we see a lot of Mike Nugent kicking off only and Bailey doing the field goal kicks and extra point kicks.
Ooh, we must have upset some Eagles fans. We have 2 dislikes already. So, guys, you must really like this shirt. Ginger Jesus is coming for Dallas. Ginger Jesus. You mean Ron Weasley? Let me see. let me see. Morris was 11 carries for 53 yards. If he got a full 20-plus carries, he would have had a 100-yard game.
And I'm disappointed with no McFadden, too, in that whole mix.
But here, guys, I keep saying this. I feel like a crazy conspiracy theory, like I have this weird idea. But, guys, is something wrong with Morris, or what is the deal with Morris? Or, I mean, not Morris, McFadden. Why do you have a guy like McFadden who had over 1,000 yards in 2015? You have this guy, slightly injury prone, but he's been healthy for a long, long time. Why is he your third running back? Why is he not starting? Why is he not getting the ball more? It makes me feel like there's something else going on. Either the Cowboys are seeing something and they don't like what they see, but then why do we still have him? I don't know.
Here's the thing. When we kept him on this long, the whole idea I thought was that they would use him if the Zeke thing ever hit, which it obviously did, that he would be one of the primary players in this replacement role. And again, in the whole preseason, guys, if you recall, all Cowboy fans in here should know that he was their leading running back through the whole preseason. He was the starter almost every single game. And so they were like priming him, and he did well in these games, other than one fumble on the goal line. Other than that, he did fantastic. Yeah. While, the other two guys, and I'm talking about Rod Smith shined, but against third stringers. And Morris did okay against backups. So, again, when you have the starters, you had, McFadden playing very well. I understand the inactive because he's more injury prone. You want Morris in there, okay, run him. But then now you have no Zeke, and you run him for one play for -2 yards on a busted blocking scheme.
And if
I
remember right, it was like towards the end of the third quarter. Yeah. Like it was really
meaningless.
Late in the game. Yeah, at that point it was already like at least 7-17, if not worse.
Yes.
It just. A lot, again, and this comes down to the coaching. A lot of the things that the coaches do just do not make sense. Yeah. And I understand they don't have to sit here and explain these things to us. But if us as fans are seeing this and it's not being successful, and we obviously know something of the game, I don't know, guys. Something's got to change.
I do want to say something with Philly 500 over here. What's the latest on the left tackle? As we said, Tyron Smith. He's at the facility working out. He's there's no practice yet. Tomorrow he'll be DMP.
Taking a Veterans Day. Basically.
I mean it's more we call it Veteran Day.
It's just because it's his regular every Wednesday. He never practiced because of his regular back issue he had, so this is just his regular. He's
right. He would be not practicing anyway, so don't read anything into that. It's more going to be Thursday and especially Friday. Yeah. If he could be limited and be listed as questionable, there's a chance he plays. I believe he will play if he's listed as questionable and he had at least one limited practice. Yeah. If he has 2 limited practices or limited and a full, he's playing. So I have what I've been hearing is that it's a much better chance he plays than Sean Lee. Even though they haven't ruled out Sean Lee 100% yet, Sean Lee is out for this game, and he's probably out for 2 more at most. And that's those 2 things are the issues. Now, we were discussing earlier. We were just talking about Tyron Smith, him playing. If he doesn't play, Chaz Green and Byron Bell right now are going to split the reps at that spot. So. You're going to maybe see, like you said earlier, if you had Tyron Smith and then you'd spell him a little bit with these other guys. Even without Tyron Smith, you might see them kind of rotating around if there's an issue if there's a crack starting. Yeah. Now, the Cowboys should be ready to help out. We know this can happen. This has been proven that there could be a break on that left side. So they have to get Dak more confidence.
They have to adjust. And if they don't, then I really don't know what to say anymore.
And that's why Tyron Smith is more important than Sean Lee. With Sean Lee gone, we're going to use, I believe we should use a 33%, a third linebacking situation at that middle linebacker spot where we would have, Jalen Smith on blitz packages, or like, I guess you'd say even short zone packages for coverage for him, but for that specific linebacker duty. If not, when he's out, and you have Justin Durant in there. I say, you have him in there for the Deacon defense kind of setup. And when you don't have him, you have this new guy we had on the team for about a month, and he should definitely be up to speed on things. Justin March Lillard, and he plays on special teams, so he would be somebody that I think could also help. Give a third of effort in there in place. So we go 20-20-20. That's, I think, how we can maximize the missing Sean Lee piece. And I think that each of those guys would thrive with less snaps than a whole game, and they're going to be worn out and used and abused. I'm telling you guys, we saw it happen with Durant. We saw it happen with Jalen Smith. We don't know about this other guy, March Lillard. But either way, why not split them all 3 up? Situationally speaking, one might get more than the other, but more or less put them about 15 to 20 each. And let's see what happens. You can't be worse than what any other plans they have right now. And I'm really interested to see what they're going to say. Are they going to use Kyle Wilbur in that mix? Are they going to move over Damian Wilson and make him that Mike linebacker when there's only 2 linebackers being used? Let us know, Coach Garrett.
So, Philly 500, thanks for liking the video. And Zero God Loading, man, the Eagles fans are rolling deep today. And guys, if you are an Eagles fan, join us all week. Again, we want to hear from you guys. We want to know because, you know, we're facing you. So, you know, come join us in all our discussions because the Eagles are going to suck all week. Let me see. Matt Persico, our coaching will be the end. Our coaching will be the end of us. I agree, Matt. Let me see. Jerry Jones went to the same college as McFadden. They both went to Arkansas. I mean, I feel like there has to be more of a reason for it than that, but something about it. I don't know. Stronger King. Thanks for joining us here. So in Philly 500 thinks that Tyron Smith will end up playing. So, again, obviously, we really hope he is out there. And Cowboys Abroad says run Hitchens, Wilbur, and Wilson at linebacker. I mean,
that's interesting. Again, Wilbur, you know, it would be interesting to see him out there. I think that we can't run with just one guy out there, even if you want to throw Wilbur into that, so you make it a quarter each, you know? Like, and I say a quarter, not an actual quarter, but I'm saying that you put him in, situationally speaking, you can throw Wilson, you know, Wilbur into that mix, too, with the other 3 guys I mentioned, Jalen Smith, Lillard, and Durant.
Exactly.
So that's 4 guys you can mix in there, and that's basically a quarter each. I think they could thrive on that kind of situation rather than just one guy playing, you know, 70% of the snaps. I think you're going to see the weakness exposed a lot easier that way. But, I mean, I'm not the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and I mean, they see things differently. Yeah. And obviously, you know, I don't know if they're seeing it right, but they're seeing things differently. So let's put it at that.
So, all right, guys, and let me see. I'd rather have a poster board cut out of Tyron Smith than let Green or Bell start again. Bell played 7 minutes and had a holding penalty, sack on him, and gave up a forced fumble. But
and no help. Helped twice.
Yeah, but guys, yeah, I agree. But remember, you know, he's basically our 3rd stringer at that spot. You know, like
3rd stringer, exactly.
And on top of that, he was thrown in there. He probably had very little practice at all with first teams, and we're on, you know, the last few minutes of a losing game where Atlanta has not just all the momentum, but they have these guys who have just completely demoralized our offensive line. So, you know, and Byron Bell had to come in and save the day. I mean, you know, he's not going to save the day.
And he didn't even get practice with them, really.
And he didn't get practice, and he didn't get help. So, I mean, he did about as well as we could have expected from him. But again, from Byron Bell, you know, it's one thing. But from Chaz Green, it was a completely different
thing. And what's up, Andrew DeCall? What's up, Cool Boy 5? How you all doing?
Thanks for joining us here, guys.
Deshaun Kaiser, bro, that's funny. I like that. Let Heath do the kickoffs. I mean, at this point, if it means it freeing up another roster spot, why not?
Yeah, but Heath is in concussion protocol, so
correct. He's not.
Unfortunately for now.
Right. Yeah. Right now, Heath. I don't know. Unfortunately for Heath, but fortunately for Xavier Woods, if Heath is out, we all get to see the X factor guys on defense.
Because, guys, I mean, he's shown more. You know, one of those guys who, you know, definitely had made some rookie mistakes, still has a lot to learn, but he's been improving every single week. I've just been excited to see him play, and of course, that interception was just beautiful. So.
Yeah, great awareness, and that's the thing with him.
That
he can make plays. So, I mean, you know, I believe that we can use a 3 or 4 headed monster at linebacker. I believe that. I guess all I can say is, have Byron Bell ready this time, up to speed. Have Chaz Green up to speed. I mean, we need Tyron Bell. We need Tyron Smith in there. We have to have him in the game. I mean, for in my opinion, without Tyron Smith, the game is going to be hard to win. It's almost impossible to win.
And Andrew DeCall, thank you so much for joining us all the way from New York. You are in enemy territory, man. So glad you like to listen to us. And again, can't wait to have you join us Sunday night. Hopefully, we'll be able to celebrate along with the rest of you Cowboys fans.
I know. Star King 23.
Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
We're gonna. You said that the Seahawks are going to cush the Cowboys. That'd be interesting. I actually think we'd like that. Ertz. Okay, so Sosa 215 Bleed Green. What's up? How you doing? Turn that dislike into a like, guys, if you're Eagle fans, because we're being non-biased. We're trying to be real. I'm supporting my team, and I'm doubting yours, yes. But I still respect your team and know your team is better right now. And right now, we have a lot of Division C's. Zeke gone, Tyron Smith gone, Sean Lee gone, Dan Bailey gone. Like Cowboys Abroad said earlier, and other people said, that's 4 Pro Bowlers, guys. Top players in all 3 facets of our offense, defense, and the special teams. So That's crazy. I mean, so let me read this here about Ertz. Ertz is going to have field day. Now, I do believe Ertz surprised me a little bit, I will say, with the way he's playing. He's playing up to Witten status almost. So I will say this. Good job on Ertz. But I think that you're saying about linebackers. He's not going to be guarded by the linebackers that often, as often as you think he will be. Sometimes he will be. But he's going to be, when he's covered by Byron Jones, they're thinking of using Byron Jones at corner. So they're going to go take Byron Jones from safety and move him down to corner and cover probably a tight end or some kind of zone slot, the slot guy in the middle, on one side or the other, or the tight end. That's going to be Byron Jones' job. Awuzie is very important. He plays because now you can use him and throw him back at the safety. Well, you have Skandrick and you have Jordan Lewis at corners, and occasionally, unfortunately, right now, Anthony Brown, although he did a good job, throughout the game, and he had some bad plays throughout the game. So again, he still needs to up his game too. But those are the three corners that are going to be playing. I think Awuzie can jump out back there at safety, while Byron Jones drops down as another corner. We also have, if we don't have Heath, we have Xavier Woods, and we also have, and sometimes Xavier Woods drops down to corner. We have Kevon Frazier at safety. So there's a lot of mix and match, as you can see with all the guys that we have on our team when it comes to our defensive backfield, when it comes to our linebackers. We have 4 linebackers we can rotate in to that missing Sean Lee spot. Now, I'm not saying any of these guys, even put together, can equal what Sean Lee gives us. But I think that if you play any of these guys for the whole game at linebacker, you're gonna increase our chances of losing. You're gonna increase the chances of the Eagles picking on our weak spot. I think that when you bring a fresh guy in there with a different kind of mindset, a different kind of dimension to his game, I think you can mess up with the Eagles a little bit better. A little bit better. I'm not saying it's gonna mess up the game for them, but I'm saying I think it definitely will throw them off a bit when they have to deal with Durant one play, and then Jalen Smith's speed the next play, and then they have to deal with Damian Wilson another play, and then they have to deal with this Justin March Lillard, who has played in 29 NFL games, guys, so he has some experience. So again, all these things put together, I think that'd be our best bet. I'm not saying it's the winning formula. Sean Lee would be the winning formula. If Sean Lee and Tyron Smith back, we win this game. I truly believe that as a Dallas Cowboy fan, we had both these. If we have Sean Lee for the full game, we had Tyron Smith for the full game, I think the Cowboys win this game, even without Zeke. And that's my 2 cents on that. I mean, I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that, but you can't judge our running game based on last week's performance. Our offensive line broke down because we had Chaz Green break down. And once he broke down, Cooper broke down, as expected, because he needs that help from both sides, from Travis Frederick and from Tyron Smith. Without Tyron Smith there and Chaz Green breaking down, that broke down Cooper. It actually hurt Travis Frederick, our all-pro, Pro Bowl center, and Zach Martin blew a couple blocks as well. La'el Collins had probably the best game out of all of them. He had a couple bad plays, and he played great the rest of the game. He kept Vic Beasley Jr. off of the stat sheet, which is great. He did that with Justin Houston last week. So the right side is looking like, right now, without Tyron Smith, obviously, the right side looks like a lot better right now. And they're not thinking of moving La'el Collins over to the other side, guys. So let's see here. Now, as I said, Philly 500, I do think that we both have great quarterbacks. I think your Carson Wentz and our Dak Prescott are one of the 2 best quarterbacks for the next 10 years. And the fact that we're in the same division, wow, it's going to be fantastic, guys, that battle. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think Dak is a little better than Carson Wentz, and you think Carson Wentz is a little better than Dak. It's all good. I understand. Gary Stokes said Taco needs to start producing. I mean, I believe I put him in a Jalen Smith category, even a little bit farther behind, because Jalen Smith had a year to learn the system a little bit. But I see both these guys as being projects in the sense of Taco Charlton is not really a 20 whatever pick that he was, 27, 26, whatever he was when we drafted him. He's more of a stretch. He's more of a future player, not for this season, for next season. So whatever he produces now, he's got 1 sack. His over-under for me was 4. I thought he'd get under that. We'll see. I hope he surprises me and gets 4 or 5.
Yeah, but Deshaun Kaiser, you're right. It's crazy how Wentz is getting the Dak treatment from last year. But again, it's because the Eagles are kind of having a Cowboys moment.
I mean,
They're
last year at this time, we were 8-1. And the Eagles are 8-1 right now.
Had the momentum,
The only difference is we had the Giants on our butts, so we had to get the pressure. Eagles getting it. If you guys beat us, you guys have no pressure. As far as the division is concerned, pretty much you guys have it locked up. So if we win, we're 2 games back. with tiebreaker and one more game against you. So you guys blow a game between now and then. We keep winning, we can still catch you for the division. Now, we have that. Zeke is one component we're not even worried about that much about.
Yeah. And Emmett, thanks for joining us as well.
Yes,
how much playing time will Darby get?
That's from the Philadelphia safety corner, I think. Let one of the Philly fans say that, because we're gonna do our usual.
Yeah, and Andrew, trust me,
daily
we're
breakdown.
all really hoping that Tyron Smith plays this weekend. I mean, I think that's gonna be kind of the make or break thing, because it doesn't seem like the Cowboys are gonna be able to adjust without him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I see 3 or 4 guys on the linebacking side that could fill in that spot, like as I already went into major detail about. But then I think that when you look at the replacement for Tyron Smith, it's such a drop. And Chaz Green is not as bad as he showed, but man, I don't feel confident as a fan. I'm sure all Cowboy fans feel the same way, and I'm sure Dak Prescott feels that way.
And I'm sure the Eagles also feel that way, because they're going to attack that side like nobody's business.
Yep.
I mean, it's a reality, and I know that the Falcons are going to do that already with, Tyron Smith obviously being out, and I get that, but for our left side to collapse so completely, the Eagles are going to take advantage of that. Yeah. If we don't do something about it, Dak's going to end up with 12 sacks this game, and we're going to see another Tony Romo where he's going to break something and he'll be out. So
it's very concerning if the Cowboys coaching staff cannot, at least if they see it breaking down again, have a backup plan, make an adjustment. This is coach no adjustment right here. Yeah. Jason Garrett, he does not know how to make adjustments in game, pre-game. He's stubborn. He wants to stay with his plan and makes no adjustment unless Mother Nature makes him change it. For instance, when it rained against the Redskins, the Redskin game, Jason Witten was slated to have a multiple touchdown game, because they were planning to pass the ball like idiots when we ran the ball and ran all over the Redskins, and we really control the game. But Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan had to resort to that because of the rain. So they were forced. Aside from being forced to have to, they would love to pass all game. And that's going to be, we're not built like that. We're built to run and control the clock. And the Cowboys coaches, starting with Jason Garrett, this doesn't seem to get it. And I don't know, maybe it's me, but I don't know. You guys out there who see it, Cowboy fans and not Cowboy fans, if you see the Cowboy games, let me know if you think I'm seeing things when the Cowboys are passing on first down multiple times, and they're passing after we run with Zeke and get 6 or 7 yards, and we pass twice and we don't get the first down. It's like, why not run? We have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Exactly, why not run?
But, I don't know.
Now we don't have one of the best offensive lines in the league when you have Chaz Green in there.
Yeah.
Now we're one of the mediocre lines, if not horrible lines. I don't think that's going to happen again, that kind of breakdown. But I do think that they'll send help out. Mm-hmm. But I do think that they'll put a tight end, a running back more often, and they'll have to design plays that fit that scheme.
Either way, guys,
but they have to be ready.
It comes down to the Cowboys adjusting. So
yes.
Hopefully we'll know a little bit more after tomorrow's practice. Some of the adjustments the Cowboys are trying to make as far as personnel or how they're going to use them or whatever. But guys, we've been here for over an hour streaming, I believe, or coming up onto an hour.
We got about 10 minutes to go, guys, 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll chill out and jump out of here. Lewis Neal at left tackle. That's not happening there. He's our defensive tackle. Guys, keep it family friendly. Billy Payne, what's up? How you doing? Keep it family friendly. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the like button for the stream, guys. How do we have 2 dislikes and only 10 likes, and we have like 30 people in here, guys? Hit that like button. Let's fight the Eagle fans that are trying to dislike it.
All right, but guys, let's go ahead and catch up with some of your
some questions, guys.
Final comments here. Let's see. So Lewis Neal at left tackle. I'm not sure about that. Philly is really good pass rushers. We got to win on first down and have success running the ball. We have to stop Philly's run and get after Wentz. So Andrew, one thing that I will say about that Falcons game that concerned me, outside of all the other issues that were very concerning, is the fact that we only had 1 sack. From this offense, from usually that would be like, oh my God, the Cowboys got a sack, yay! But the way that this offensive front has been defensive front has been performing, 1 sack is a little lackluster.
I agree.
And especially against a line like Atlanta's, as far as I know, they're got to give them credit and stuff. But as far as I knew, I thought they were
like
average, slightly above average,
a 10th or 8th kind of ranked above average, but not that established yet. The point is that with our defensive front and with the way they produced, we should have still applied more pressure. But you got to remember something.
Look, we had a lot of pressure. We did have a lot of pressure, but I just expected more.
Here's the thing: what the Falcons did, and they did what Jason Garrett doesn't do. They made adjustments at halftime. But what happened was when they came out of the halftime, they saw the Sean Lee. All right, second quarter, it was still close, guys. We still had that control of the game. even at the end of the second quarter. And I think we were down 10-7. But my point is that in the third quarter, we started losing it. When we missed that field goal, that was kind of the end of it. But there was other things that happened before that. And my point is that by the Falcons running the ball, knowing that Sean Lee was out of the game after the halftime, they ran to his side most of the time. When they ran to Hitchens' side, we stopped them. When they ran to Sean Lee's side and Jalen Smith was there, he whiffed multiple times, gave up chunks of 10, 15, 20-yard runs.
A lot of first downs. When
now you start running, we can't just attack the quarterback the same way, So we couldn't stop the run because we didn't have Sean Lee. We have to make adjustments to do that, and with Jalen Smith's not the answer.
We didn't.
Correct.
At all,
so by that happening, that's why I made it easier for Matt Ryan to not have to worry about passing the ball, and he had more opportunities because the front line had to watch the run first, which gave Matt Ryan an extra second or two. That's all he needed.
And guys,
he found guys open.
This is all without Devontae Freeman. He got hurt pretty early in the game with a concussion. He's still in.
This is third one, I think, in his career.
This is the second one this season.
Okay, so I think it's the second this season.
I don't know about his career, but second one this season.
I know he has more than this even. So the thing is that they're saying that he's might miss some time, like some Rico Gathers kind of time. So I don't know, but with this situation with the Falcons, just in general, you just forget about even without Freeman. I mean, they still have the firepower, but they're an up and down kind of team. You have a team like the Packers, okay, who are probably going to go down as well. These are two teams that are tied with us, and they both have tiebreaker on us. When you take that into consideration, and we're just in the hunt for the playoffs, for the wild card. So right now you have 2 6-3 teams, which if we had won, that's where we would have been in the playoffs. But we're not. Now we're out of the playoffs currently. We're losing tiebreakers to a lot of these teams. So, I think this weekend, I think almost every NFC conference team won, pretty much. Most of them did, but we didn't, of course. And again, guys, I think that it's something that, well, actually, the Falcons won, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. Someone in NFC. But I'm saying the AFC, NFC games, it went like 7-1 NFC. Yeah. The point is that it hurts our playoff chances for the wild card. Again, 11 wins hopefully makes the playoffs this year. We have 7 games left.
Interesting to see how it goes.
And we have 5 wins. So, I mean, the best we could be is 12-4, and that's not going to happen without Zeke. Without, we're just going to lose a game or two because we don't have Zeke, because we have this issue with injuries, and because we're playing really good teams. I mean, that's plain and simple. The Eagles are the best team so far this season, and they have a complete team on offense and defense currently. And I give them credit. They've dealt with injuries. They have a middle linebacker injury out for the year. They're surviving. They have Peters, their left tackle, same thing as Tyron Smith. He's out for the year. Yeah. They picked up Lane, and they're winning games still. They haven't lost yet. So again, since they picked them up, again, guys, this is the adjustments and good GMing and front office and coaching that you have compared to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, who at this point I'm starting to question the scouts as well for the personnel that they're finding sometimes.
I mean, the Cowboys seem to risk more.
I don't know.
They risk more, which is good, and it pays off sometimes. And sometimes you lose, which is okay. But it's not. I don't really have as much of a problem with that part. With the executive side, I have a bigger problem with the coaches and the fact that they can't mold these players into what they're supposed to be. While the Philadelphia currently are able to make the right decisions and go for these pieces that they want to. They're trying to go get that Super Bowl, guys. Trust me, this right here bothers them more than anything in the world. Every Eagle fan, that they have 0 Super Bowl championships and rings.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get the last of your comments, so we're going to go ahead and call it a night.
Sounds good. Guys, don't forget, hit that like button. If you're new, hit subscribe, guys. We're almost at 1K.
Green Gamer, thanks for joining us.
Green Gamer. We just
love the shirt. Wentz reminds me of a combination of Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford. Chase, I can see that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
The Saints won, the Rams won. Yeah, so like we said, all these teams won.
So when you have Carolina and the Saints in one division, and Atlanta now ahead of us technically in a tiebreaker, and then you have the other division where you have the Rams, you have the Seahawks, they're above us. So these teams look like they're going to solidify. Yeah, and you have the other two, you have the Eagles, and then you have the Vikings. So I mean, that's 6 spots right there.
Yeah.
Where do we sneak in? We have to really win 5 or 6 of these games.
Still lots of football to play, but
we have to win 5 or 6 or we're out.
We have to be realistic as well. So, all right.
Starts this weekend, guys, against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes. So, guys, I want to go ahead and give one final shout out for everybody who's out here joining us right now. So, Andrew, Gary, Green Gamer, Bleed Green, Deshaun, Stronger King, Chase, Philly 500, Cowboys 42, Gary. Let me see. Amy Can Fly, Cowboys Abroad, Amrit, let me see, Kevin Bilbo, Kevin Bowers.
There's a lot of you out there.
Virgil. I'm trying to get everybody. I'm trying, guys. Cool Boy. And that's, let me see, Chase. I don't know if I said you already, but guys.
We should have 70 likes.
But seriously, guys, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We apologize again for this kind of later stream, delay. But thank you guys for being out here with us here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to break it down as usual, guys. Just as the week goes on, we're going to talk more and more about Philly, you know, about the matchups and that kind of stuff. Of course, right now we're just worrying about Dallas Cowboys because we're in such, you know, dire straits right now and in bad situations, desperate. So wrong, yeah, so hopefully that will fix itself as the week goes on with practice. And by Friday and Saturday, you know, it's all about Philly and Dallas and the real matchups and stuff. And on Saturday, we're going to do that Madden stream, matching them up as they're going to look on Sunday evening, guys. So stay tuned for all this week. And of course, Sunday evening, we're going to be right here watching the game, live streaming it. You're going to see our reactions, good, bad, or ugly, whatever. Right.
So make sure, guys, to hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss any updates on when we go live.
Yeah, hit that notification bell.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. And never forget.
Never forget, guys.
Always.
Go Cowboys!
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, guys. Thank you so much. Peace out. Stay safe. Have a good night. And we'll see you tomorrow, all right?
And go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.